Yes, people, welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous Dan. You join just me this time. I hope that's good enough. Smash that like button, get your comments in. I want lineup predictions, score predictions for this one as well. And subscribe to the Kop TV if you haven't already. I don't know what you're playing at. If you're watching this now and that button isn't pressed, wobble your head, mate, because we've got some amazing content coming out from here until the end of the season. And hopefully it's a beautiful ending. You know what I mean? Right. Liverpool versus Ipswich, the team that we played in the first ever game in the Premier League under Arne Slot. I'll give you some stats. I'll give you some figures. They don't look great for Ipswich, and I apologise if you are a Tractors fan. It is what it is. The numbers don't lie. So Liverpool currently in first, 50 points on the table. We love that. Ipswich currently in 18th with 16 points on the table. Liverpool, 50 goals scored, 20 goals scored for Ipswich. Where would they be without Liam Delap's goals as well? It could be even worse for them. Obviously, they've lost their last two games. Heavy defeat against Man City at home. They did lose before that at home again to Brighton. And let's not forget, when the fixture lists were announced, I remember saying myself, I was thinking, please not Ipswich away first game of the season. But that's what we got. But guess what? We navigated our way through that game. Yes, there wasn't a bundle of chances. Yes, there wasn't loads of goal malfaction. But that was a little taster for what we were going to see under Arne Slot following on from that game. So, yeah, listen, they're going to go down probably, I'll be honest. But they've just brought in Julio Enciso from Brighton, who's a very good player. I'm actually quite surprised that he's gone there, considering where Brighton are and where Ipswich are in the table. But he is, he's the one that they're going to be resting their hopes upon to create chances for Liam Delap, for Amari Hutchinson, etc. So listen, I've enjoyed watching Ipswich so far this season because they remind me a little bit of like a Blackpool when they came in. Entertaining. They've beaten Chelsea, let's not forget, 2-0. But an entertaining team nonetheless. They might not win a load of games, but they're hoping that they can just about stay up in the Premier League this season. I mentioned a couple of their players before already. Even though it is Ipswich Town, you still have to be very aware of some of their players. You look at Liam Delap, who's obviously now, talking to other clubs about a big move from the Man City Academy. Amari Hutchinson, so much was made about him when he moved from Arsenal to Chelsea to Ipswich. Sammy Smodics, I've been a big fan of him, not only because he plays for Ireland now, but he's that kind of fox in the box kind of player that can pop up and do damage. Jack Clark's there, a lot of, chat about him when he was coming through. I think it was at Tottenham. Leif Davis has played every game at left back this season for them, Tuan Zabi. They've got some decent players. I wouldn't say they're out and out Premier League quality, but what they are going to do is fight, make it really frustrating for Liverpool, defend well, and it's down to Liverpool to break that line down. Now, who do you go with, right? Let's get into the lineup prediction. It's Alisson in goal. It's Trent. It's Virgil van Dijk and Konate back after their little break. Well, especially Konate had the break in midweek. He'll come back in for this one. It's a toss-up for me between Tsimikas and Robbo. I do think Robbo will play, but that's not to say I haven't been impressed with what Tsimikas has done for us this season. He's been a great person to step in when Robbo needs a bit of a rest in the legs. The midfield, as much as I'd love more minutes for Harvey Elliott, as much as I'd love to see Endo a little bit more, as much as I'd love Curtis Jones to show us a bit more, I still think he's going to go with the same tried and tested midfield, which actually raises the question, well, if you are going McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, why did Gravenberch start that game? But I guess the answer would be, well, he came off at half-time to rest himself for this. That's how important Ryan Gravenberch is in this game. But what I would like to see is goals early doors. Let's not have a frustrating game like we had against Fulham, like we had against other teams this season where we maybe concede the first goal. There's no complacency for this one. So I'd like an early goal or two to really just relax the crowd and make sure everyone's feeling good going into the next few games as well. So that's the midfield that I think he'll go for. It will be Salah, Gakpo or Diaz. That's the question that we ask ourselves every week, really. Who starts out of those two on the left wing? And then through the middle is Darwin Núñez, of course, with Diogo Jota still out. Obviously, Gakpo and Diaz have both played through the middle as well. But I'll go Alisson, Trent, Konate, Virgil, Robbo, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Salah, Núñez and Gakpo. And then again off the bench, you've got Tsimikas, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, if he's okay after the last game. I know he picked up a bit of a knock in the groin area. Never a nice one. Diaz can come off the bench as well. Endo, if you need to shore things up. Jarrell Quantz's there. Kelleher's there as well. The bench this season, the quality and the standard of our players that come on has been unbelievable. I actually would go as far as saying, and Chiesa, let's not forget him. I would go as far as saying, as this season, in terms of the bench that Liverpool have had through all of the Premier League games, has been our strongest bench we've ever had in the Premier League era. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that one. But let me know if you agree or disagree with that lineup prediction as well. Would you start Chiesa? Would you start Harvey Elliott after his goal in the Champions League on Tuesday? Would you maybe give some of the players a rest? I don't think we can afford to, right? In my opinion, we're 12 or 13 wins away from the Premier League title. So you put your strongest team out. But what I'd like to happen, ideally, 2 or 3 up by half time, and then you can afford to bring on some players and switch it up a little bit in the second half. And then you go to PSV next week where you can definitely rest players. So actually, maybe this is a game where you play your full-strength team. Let's give credit to Ipswich. They're still a Premier League team. You can't knock them. You can't be complacent. You can't start counting your chickens before they've hatched. So that's my lineup prediction. Let me see yours. There are some people online saying start Chiesa for this game. You could go on the left or the right. We've seen him in both positions recently for Liverpool. I was actually really impressed with his cameo off the bench the other night. He can cut in, he can shoot. He wants to shoot on sight more than often, which is great. So listen, does Chiesa come on at some point? 100%, but let's get to 2 or 3 goals before that happens. I think if we're being honest, we're more than capable of doing that against this team who have just conceded 6 at home to City. But I don't want to get ahead of myself because it's very rare that a Premier League team, no matter if they're Sheffield United, Ipswich, Southampton, doesn't matter. If you lose a game at home 6-0, there's always a response. So actually, my score prediction for this game, yes, I said I'd like a 2 or 3 up before half time, but that's not how football works. Especially for a team, like I said, that have just lost their last game heavily. So, with that being said, I'll go 2-0 Liverpool. I'd love it to be 4 or 5. We get the goal difference up. We get the confidence up. Love Chiesa to get his first Premier League goal. Salah's obviously still looking to win that golden boot. So these are the kind of games where if you do score early, it can turn into a bit of a tennis score. But like I said, I can't allow myself to think like that because of the fact that in the Premier League, it's very, very rare that you lose a game like that and then lose it heavily again the game after. So hopefully, Liam Delap, Murray Hutchinson, Calvin Phillips, Sammy Smodics, hopefully they're all kept quiet. And we have to come into this game with the correct mentality. There can't be any slip-ups. Every single game now should be a final. I'm going to be at the ground on Saturday. The atmosphere has to be top. It has to be top. I don't want us to go 1 down and then you've got to almost plead the players to get back into the game using the sound and the noise and the atmosphere. No, I'd like a nice, comfortable, easy win. But I know that doesn't happen. Whenever I say it, it never happens. So I'll go 2-0 Liverpool, but my prediction secretly is a lot more than that, but I'd take the 2-0 all day long. Another clean sheet would be great. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's the first time Ipswich have been to Anfield in 20-odd years. I think it was a cup game. I think El Hadji just scored a penalty. But before that, I do remember it being a heavy defeat at Anfield and at Portman Road in the 0-1-2 season. Pretty sure Michael Owen got a handful. I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Abel Xavier scored one away at the Portman Road as well. So they're going to be really buzzing. And why wouldn't they be to come back to Anfield for the first time in 20 years? Big them up. It's a long way to travel. So you have to respect the away fans, apart from if they're United, City, Everton or Chelsea. We respect everyone else, I'd say. So yeah, I'm going 2-0. What are you going for, right? Let us know your score predictions in the chat right now, people, as we face Ipswich in the first time in the Premier League at Anfield for 20-odd years. It's going to be a good game. I'm praying. If you're at the game, come and have a word with us after on the Kop TV. We're still the only Liverpool fan channel that does the raw fan cams from outside the game. You don't get that anywhere else. So make sure you follow us and subscribe to us for that. Like I said, I'm going 2-0. What's your score prediction? And yeah, let's win another game. Let's keep the wins rolling. To win this Premier League, now we have to go on a run. There's other teams popping up. Let's go on a run and keep stacking up these wins. And then you're 1 game closer to lifting the Premier League title. So guys, smash that like button, get your comments in, subscribe, and we'll see you after the game. Take care.